this is a thing that's actually began when I was 6 years old.
Yes.
So it was like long time.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
But I could not help it. Yeah, because I think when we came back, I was already addicted.
Okay.
Yeah,
You are addicted, trapped already, you cannot come out.
yeah.
Right.
I tried to come out, and when someone is watching it, you say this is the last time, or after you have finished watching it, say I will never repeat it again.
Yes.
What are you doing? With who? How? When? And there goes sex as God intended.
All right, a very good evening to you, our viewer on Hope TV, where you look and live, and on Hope FM, where you listen and live. This is the Overflow show, of course, where you live your life in abundance. And of course, we cover interesting conversations that help you navigate the storms of life in the different phases of life. And of course, you know what? Tonight we are at Machakos University. Machakos University. Hey! Machakos University. Awesome. Let's give a round of applause and welcome our online viewers, our TV and our listeners on Hope FM, where you listen. And of course, without much, I'll invite our facilitator for the Overflow show. That's Dr. James Karau, who's going to take us just in a nutshell about what we're going to discuss tonight. And I believe we're going to be blessed. If you got any question, any comment, any suggestion, feel free to share with us on the number scrolling down at the screen that is on WhatsApp. And you can engage with us across our digital platforms at Hope TV Kenya, at Hope FM Live, and of course at Favored Frank. Let's engage tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, join me with a round of applause as we welcome our very own Dr. James Karau. Let's give a round of applause once again for our very own Dr. James Karau. You know,
Yes.
we got many issues when it pertains to sexuality.
Yeah.
I know earlier on you had mentioned,
Yeah.
but I want you to once again do it on camera. We have a
Yeah.
camera here, you can face it.
Yeah.
Let our viewers at home and those who are in the house tonight, know exactly what is sexuality and what we are going to be diving in tonight.
Yeah, sexuality is a gift from God, that God created sex that you may only have it to the fullest. Unfortunately, because of the ignorance and disobedience of men, this has been abused and distorted and has left a heavy toll on mankind. And today we are going to have a conversation on sexuality, because often sexual matters are not discussed openly in church. And you realize it is a silent killer. It's a virus that's just weave itself in the moral fabric of the body of Christ.
Yes.
And the devil thrives in conspiracy of silence. And we are going to open this conversation and talk about sex as God intended it to be, because that has been misdefined, misappropriated,
All
and
right.
abused. And just to your question, I say that sex is a gift from God. But what is sex? I want to say sex is any erotic experience that a human being can have. Erotic experience.
All right.
But sex, as God intended, can be defined in a certain way. That sex, as God intended, is when you derive sexual excitement or erotic excitement or undergo erotic experience with the right person at the right time, in the right way, for the right reason, at the right place. That you must not just have sexual excitement, it must be done in the right way. And the Bible prescribes the right way. It must be with the right person, a married partner. And the reason is very key, because you can fulfill the first two, but you get it wrong. Married, but have sex for a reason, and it must be done in the right way. So there's a question of what are you doing, with who, how, when, and there goes sex as God intended.
All right. Let's clap for our very own Dr. James Karau. All right. Tonight we got a lot of things you're gonna be diving in. We got testimonies. We got experience in the house that are going to be from different areas of life with us tonight. Right about now, allow me to I'll be introducing you a gentleman that is going to share with us an experience he has had with masturbation. I believe that all of us understand what masturbation is. All right? Do we, or are we from heavens? We just landed. So this is what I want us to do. We are going to take a very short break, and then I'll be inviting our very own, a student from Machakos University, that I'll be letting you know his name just in a little while. Right about now, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to take a break. If you're watching us on Hope TV, on Hope FM, listening right there, you can give us your feedback, any questions, any feedback you may have, share with us. The numbers scrolling down at the screen, and you can as well at Hope TV, at Hope FM Live. That's across our digital platforms. You can engage across. Let's be back shortly. All right, thank you so much for keeping it right here on Hope TV, where you look and live, and on Hope FM, that's where you listen and live. This is the Overflow show, where you live your life in abundance. And thank you so much for joining us tonight for our episode at Machakos University. I'm joined in studio that is with a student from Machakos University who will be sharing his experiences when it comes to, having to deal with masturbation. Research has shown that many young men and women in the country are really struggling with this vice of masturbation. Do you really understand how it works? Do you really understand how one gets himself or herself trapped into this vice? And do you even know how to come out of it? There is a conversation you want to catch right here, right about now, as you engage on studio. Ladies and gentlemen, help me invite our very own, that is Thomas. Thomas, how are you?
I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Briefly introduce yourself.
My name is Thomas Chege, a student here in Machakos University.
Okay.
I'm in my third year of studies.
Okay.
Pursuing Bachelor of Education in Arts Combination Kiswahili and CI.
Mwalimu.
Yeah, mwalimu.
All right. Naona Kiswahili chake kitamu jamani. All right. Thomas, please get us. I understand that you were struggling with masturbation. Please briefly let us know, how did you find yourself, in that vice of masturbation?
How I got in masturbation, it was one step led to another. And it was back in when we broke for COVID. The schools were closed.
You're in high school, right?
I was in high school, and we had to go home. When I got home after some few months, being idle, hang out with a friend, and this friend of mine, he wanted to sell me a phone, and I asked my mother to give me money. I had some, but I told my mother to help me, to help me some amount so that I can buy a phone.
All right.
But it was not a smartphone, but it was an improved.
Improved kienyeji jamani. Improved what?
Yeah.
That's an improved smartphone, right?
Yeah,
or it's a kabambe or a kaduda something.
Ilikuwa kabambe lakini ni kabambe inaingia online.
Kale kameomoka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And when he was selling this phone to me, he really urged me to have an account, an FB account.
Okay.
Facebook account, yeah. And I did not, it was not my wish to have
a Facebook account.
And a Facebook account, yeah. But he volunteered to help me register.
Okay.
And when I got to Facebook, that's when I little by little started getting on sexual perversions.
Mhm.
Yeah, by um, maybe by viewing pictures of women.
Explicit content, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And that is, I think that's how I got myself in started watching pornography. I could after I think it was after a while
Yes.
when I was still viewing these photos
Mhm.
that I decided to now to find something that is practical.
To have it a notch higher.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
And this phone it could have downloaded a video.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that is pornography videos.
Mhm. Okay.
Now I downloaded them,
Mhm.
and we were not doing anything at home.
Yes.
I could do what my had assigned, and then after that, now I was me alone and my phone,
Mhm.
and I had all time, and I was idle, and
You
that's
isolate yourself.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's when I was watching these videos.
All right.
Yep.
I believe if you're watching us and if you are in this auditorium tonight, you understand that he began by talking about being idle, okay? And then coming to the point of the peer pressure, friends introducing him to, the Facebook, social media. And after that, you find that he now wants to take it a notch higher to view explicit content, after which it now culminates into now wanting to set the foot on ground and have the feeling, the pleasures. If you're at home, you're watching this program tonight. If you're a parent, you're a guardian. Do you know how this begins? This brother is sharing about isolation, a child isolating themselves, and then being idle. Do you know that your child could do this in secret? This is a question you want to ponder on. At a tender age, they are requesting for a phone, and you think you want to watch Tom and Jerry. Coming back to you, Thomas, you're talking about not having to be recruited into the vice of masturbation after watching pornography. How did that make you feel at first?
At first, I was not sure
Mhm.
if I wanted to do this.
Okay.
I didn't do it really. It's like I forced somehow myself
Mhm.
to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. And when I watched it, it came with a lot of guilt.
Mhm.
Yeah, after
You felt guilty.
I felt guilty after
Okay.
I had watched it.
Mhm.
And after that point, I felt condemned.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's something you told me that you were serving in the Christian Union, right?
Yes.
You are serving in the Christian Union when you are doing this.
Yeah.
All right. You see that? People could serve on the altar, they could serve God, but still they're struggling with perversions. Um, how did you come to realize that? Because I know at first it was all about pleasure, and it got to a point of it being a trap. How did you come back to your senses and realize that you are doing the wrong thing?
It is when I realized it was not adding anything in my life.
Okay.
And I was also serving in my high school.
Mhm.
I was serving as a prayer coordinator,
Yes.
and I knew I was doing wrong, and I really wanted to be used of the Lord,
Okay.
but I could not help it.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I think when we came back, I was already addicted.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're addicted, trapped already. You cannot come out.
yeah.
All right.
I tried to come out, and when someone is watching it,
Mhm.
you say this is the last time,
Mm-hmm.
or after you have finished watching it, say I will never repeat it again.
Yes.
But you find yourself
At it
again and
again.
again watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about how you now came out of it. When you realize that you want to come out of this habit, when you realize that you got the guilt, you have the feeling that you're serving God, but yet doing some other side shows that are not in line with His will. What did you begin to do, maybe to come out of it?
First, after before we got back to school,
Mm-hmm.
I had now a smartphone, a real smartphone.
A smartphone.
Yeah, not
Okay.
a kabambe anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
You bought with your own money.
Yeah, I worked,
Uh-huh.
and I bought it, and also my mother also gave me some amounts.
Topped up.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
bought us.
Okay.
Yeah. So all along, I had a smartphone, and it was kind of easy to access those sites.
This time you are in form?
After we came back from COVID Form 3.
Form 3.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
finishing Form 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I did,
Mm-hmm.
I volunteered to give the mother.
Okay.
And
surrender it.
Yeah,
Okay.
surrender it.
Because it was the one that was maybe contributing to you having to view those pornographic sites, right?
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gave it to my mother, and I exchanged, and she gave me her phone.
Yes.
And her phone is kabambe.
Mm-hmm.
So it
yes.
Make me not to watch those videos.
Maybe reduce the tendencies. Yeah.
My mother and I, we were not living in the same.
Okay.
But I was my grandmother's home.
Mm-hmm.
From my grandmother to my mom's home is about 2 kilometers.
Okay.
So I was putting when I was in school, I was in my grandmother's house.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
so you said first you surrendered the phone.
Yeah.
Two.
Before I had surrendered the phone.
Yes.
I had logged out all. I had deleted my account, my Facebook account.
Okay.
Yeah, because that is where I got used to watching pornography.
Okay.
Yeah, and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I blocked the account.
Mm-hmm.
I deleted the account, and from that moment I've never gone back to Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And if
to date.
Yeah, to date.
Okay.
And if I have gone,
mm-hmm.
maybe it is not. I have gone with a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at that time, back then, I had no specific reason
mm-hmm.
of being there.
Okay, so secondly, you deleted the Facebook accounts.
Yeah.
Thirdly,
I shared out my story.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I shared it to my pastors.
Okay.
3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And also I shared to the members we were serving with in the Christian Union.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was when we were finishing, we were concluding as service.
Yes.
And we met as leaders. And at that time, we had our teacher who was with us at that time. And I confessed, right? Yeah, what I was going through.
So you opened up to people,
yeah,
men of God. You opened up to colleagues. You used to serve with Christian Union. So all these two consolidate prayer partners, right? So you're doing this so that they can support you in prayer. Awesome. So, did they judge you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
The fellow leaders at that time, they did not condemn me. In fact, after I had just confessed, they went down on their knees and started praying. And as they were also laying hands on me. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Let's come for our brother. So I want us to come to the point of you having to come out of that vice completely and overcoming masturbation. We want to maybe take us to that. You're serving in a high office in the Christian Union, you even serving in church, but you decided to rededicate your life to Jesus Christ. Maybe what prompted this move?
At first, the first time I got born again, I did not volunteer to give my life to Christ. Because it was not
your personal decision.
It was not my personal decision. Yeah. It was when our pastor was preaching, and when he was preaching, he asked if the youths are born again in that church.
Yes.
And he said that I cannot continue preaching to people who are not born again. And after saying so, he commanded us to, all of us, to go and to give our lives to God. So at that time, I did not see the worth of being born again.
Okay.
Yeah, because
you were pushed to do that decision.
I was forced.
Yeah, okay. So you rededicated your life to Christ. So after this, you told me that initially you were not dedicated when you were born.
Yeah. So after I had confessed to a pastor.
Yes.
In my church, he asked me if I was dedicated to church, being a firstborn in my home. I told him I was not dedicated, and after that he told me, go and speak with your parents to be dedicated, because some of the things that you may be fighting with, they are not natural. Maybe he said they are fights that the devil really he fights the firstborn. That's what it says.
So then you were dedicated afresh.
Yeah, we talked with my mother and also with my grandmother. And they arranged a day for me to be there.
All right. So you understand the importance of dedication at birth. When a child is born, it's very important to dedicate them to Christ, to God, is to keep away evil spirits maybe that could hamper with their destiny. And so when you are dedicated and you've done all these practical things, having to surrender your phone, delete your Facebook accounts, having to, ask people to pray with you, you see that came to an end.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
After I had done all of that, after confessing.
When was this?
When I was born again.
Yes, when was this? When you got born again, you rededicated your life to Christ.
Okay.
Which years this?
I first dedicated my life to Christ. It was before I had searched for my KCSE.
This is rededication, huh? Okay?
Rededication.
Yes.
Okay.
Being born again.
Being born again.
Yes.
Right. I was born again. I dedicated my life again to Christ after I had completed my KCSE.
This is 2020.
2022.
And then from then to date, you've not gone back to that point of masturbation.
Yeah, from that day I dedicated my life. I never gone back to those sites.
Yes.
Watching pornography or even masturbating.
You stopped completely.
I stopped completely.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for allowing us to, be part and inspired by your story of victory. And God bless you. Amen. We continue to pray with you and we're happy with you that you have dedicated your life to Jesus Christ. All right, if you're watching us at home, remember we are at Machakos University. Machakos University. Hey! Yeah! Machakos University. Ah! Awesome. We're going to be taking a very short break. may, take a very short commercial break to attend to some other business in the studio. And once we come back, you gotta be looking at more because you got another conversation with a lady in the house. You wanna know who this lady is. Keep it right here on Hope TV where you look and live, on Hope FM where you listen and live. My name is Favored Frank.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better. And I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Cindy.
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Do they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even which of the what?
I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki msoul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
Christ at the lead sector. Now I guess it is my time. Text your call leo inapata blue tick. Get behind me Satan. Ati nimevajo nimemulika black spot. This truth inamaliza my dark spot. Kwa hii game bet on him but the jackpot. Kudi Satan imekuwa my spot. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, welcome once again. This is the Overflow Show. It is where you live your life in abundance. Machakos University. This is where you do what? Compigo. And of course, I just invite you once again for this part 2 of the first episode. These are Machakos University, and we're just having an amazing conversation. Earlier on, before we took a break, we had an amazing testimony from one of the students, that is Thomas, and I believe you are inspired. If you got any question, any comment, any feedback, feel free to share with us. The numbers scrolling down on the screen. And you can as well engage with us at Top TV Kenya, at Top FM Live, that is across our social media platforms, and of course, at Top FM Live. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, help me welcome, our panelists in studio tonight. And of course, feel free, even from the audience, if you got any question, you got any feedback, any suggestion, you can feel free to share with us. The numbers scrolling down on the screen. And of course, if you're in the audience, you can just raise up your hand and we'll get in touch. And of course, just over to you, we have Mercy Clark in studio. I believe it's a better place to begin it from. If you could just introduce yourself.
How are you guys? Well, my name is Mercy Clark. I'm a born again Christian. I love the Lord. I'm a rapper by passion, as you have seen. And I authored a book that is called Freedom for Kingdom Business. My educational background is I studied economics and statistics and ventured into public finance management. So that's where I am.
All right. And there is the point of earlier on, you told me that something about sexuality. Maybe, would you want to maybe help us understand? Have you ever struggled with sexuality?
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. You could just tell us in a nutshell, maybe what exactly it was.
Yeah. I used to be a lesbian, so I suffered from homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Also in masturbation. So those are the things that really enslaved me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But it's like, how did you find yourself in these perversions?
All right. My story goes back to when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
That's when I began to have self-awareness. I began to know about myself. But the thing is, I never knew what was going on. I never had a word for that which was in me. So I felt leaning towards this specific girl in our class. To date, I still remember her name. She is an activist. I don't know why I mentioned that, but that's when I knew that this specific attraction that I had for this specific girl, it wasn't unusual.
Okay.
Yes, compared to other girls,
Yes.
because there were other girls.
Mm-hmm. All right. And how did it come to you finding yourself attracted homosexuality?
Okay.
After having that feeling for a girl in class at 6 years, how growing up, how did you come to realize or even find yourself in that vice of homosexuality?
All right. So from when I was 6 years old, that's when I knew I had this thing.
Okay.
But the thing is, I never really understood about it.
Mhm.
But when I was in class 5, I was 11 years. That's when I saw a video. I'm using a video from Sarah Google, and she was singing about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
And of course, you know what Sodom and Gomorrah, what happened. So that was the first time I saw two ladies kissing on the television set.
Yes.
So this was the day that I was feeling for quite a while. And finally, I'm seeing it on the TV.
Mhm.
But the issue is, I saw fire coming down and destroying this two ladies.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, what just happened?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's when I realized that actually the attractions that I had
Yes.
wasn't really, wasn't
They weren't normal.
yeah.
Okay. So, coming to watching those the video and realizing that it is not even right. Maybe why did you still keep on with the vice?
Yeah, I really tried to come out of homosexuality because homosexuality comes into it's just like any other sexuality. It comes from your mind, your attractions, and before manifesting it physically.
Mhm.
So the attractions that I had, I really wanted them to come out of me.
Okay.
I fasted, I prayed, because I come from a Christian background.
Yes.
So I did everything that I knew. I got even baptized so that I can come out of this vice.
Yes.
But I wasn't able.
So you, at first, before you even get fully into the to homosexuality, being a lesbian, you understood it's bad,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So you told your parents about it.
No,
Nobody knew.
no one.
Okay.
Yes, it was a secret.
Yes.
That's why I developed this split personality
Mhm.
because I was keeping this as a secret
Yes.
and acting holy.
Okay.
Yes.
So in public, you acted godly
Yes.
and holier than thou.
Yeah.
You know, many times this could sound funny, but it's not really funny because many times, like I told you earlier on, you can see people serving in church. You can see someone who looks upright, but they're not. Okay. You need to discern. So coming back to Mercy Class, how did it make you feel after that? How are you feeling?
I was frustrated because I tried everything. And I love this God,
Yes.
but he doesn't love what I'm feeling.
Mhm.
So, and I've tried everything
Yes.
that I knew to come out of this, but nothing was happening.
Mhm.
You know,
So what were you trying to do to come out of it?
I was praying,
Mhm.
I was fasting,
Okay.
because it was attractions, right?
Yes.
And at that time, I had never like manifested the attractions,
Okay.
but it was still in my
You
mind.
can feel it.
Yes,
Mhm.
and it was so bigger. And at some point when I was in class finishing KCP,
Yes.
I accepted Christ, not so that I can do well in KCP,
Mhm.
because it was afterwards.
Yeah.
So I accepted Christ so that I can come out of this vice, but nothing happened.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do that because I was going to high school, and high school, and all of that.
Yeah. You want a new beginning.
Yes,
As you
I'm
join
in
high
a new
school.
beginning, and also I'm going to an all of that.
Yes.
So that is the reason why I really wanted to come out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you did you feel guilty? Did it make you feel guilty maybe when you interact or when you serve God?
At the time when before manifesting, I never felt it.
Yes. You thought it's just abnormal, but anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's come to the bit of what are some of the challenges you faced during that time? Because you're now in high school, all girls school. What are some of the challenges maybe as you join this girls school?
Well, I saw girls, and I had these attractions, and I was like, okay, yeah, all right. So in Form 1, that's when I expressed it for the first time.
Okay.
Through writing a letter to a lady, a girl. We were in Form 1, same class, but thank goodness, thank God, she never accepted what I wanted.
Yes.
Yeah. So in Form 2, Form 3, Form 2, I actually began rapping in Form 2. So that's when I began to be known in the school.
Okay.
And so the people that were like me also knew about me because now I was in the limelight.
Yes.
So they began to approach me, began to give me these movies to watch.
Yes.
See the LGBTQ movies, and that's when I realized I'm not alone in this thing. So there are a lot of people out there because it was really in my mind, and getting to know that there are people out there like me.
Okay.
I don't know what it did to me, but I felt like I was in liberty.
Okay. So you felt okay that knowing that there are many people out there.
Yes.
All right. So let's come to the point of you now being realizing that it is okay, and in fact people out there doing it. Did it have any impact on your life, maybe your personal life or your life in public with others?
Yeah. Because I saw other people who are like me.
Yes.
So I felt like maybe I should manifest what I'm feeling.
Yes.
So that's when I began to now have sexual engagements with other guys.
Okay.
When I was
In high school, right?
Yes. And that actually altered my education
Mhm.
because I was Form 1, Form 2, I didn't did well.
Yes.
Form 3, Form 4, because of the sexual engagement with the girls, my education was just going.
So your performance was slowly becoming poor.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is number one consequence.
Yes.
Or number one
Negatively.
negative. Yes. Yeah. So and also I began to have these attractions because I've done this. I've engaged sexually with this girl.
Yes.
Some certain girl. So I was like, I just wanted to go with everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Coca player.
Yeah.
Francesca sana.
Shida ni siwezi kwenda boli. So hakuna boli ya kucheza.
Yes.
So I was a player.
There's no evidence.
Yeah.
So, Master Clark, did you ever feel guilty doing this? Was there a sense of guilt, maybe guilt?
Doing that, I don't want to lie. I never felt any guilt
Yes.
when I was engaging in those things. Guilty. There is a place that I had with God, and I asked Him because I had a girlfriend. This is after high school.
Yes.
So no guilt, apparently no guilt in high school because this is a thing that's actually began when I was 6 years old.
Yes.
So it was like no,
Yeah.
it's not normal. Yeah. So when I was in campus,
Yes.
that's when I had a girlfriend. First of all, when I entered campus, I began to have sex with 3 dudes so that I can make myself straight.
Okay.
So I tried everything. Nothing happened. So I accepted myself as a lesbian.
Yes.
So I had this girlfriend at the time. This was in 2019.
Yes.
So in 2019, that's when I was dating this girl, and the girl began to speak about marriage.
So the relationship is leading somewhere. So you beginning to set goals.
Yeah. So she was saying about telling me about her kids, how they're going to do it, yes. And we're going to have Kenya and go to the US.
Yes.
Yes. So those were her fantasies. But let me tell you, I was busy.
Yes.
All this.
So all this while you still acknowledge God as supreme.
Yes.
Okay.
Still serving just as Thomas. Still serving in church. Although I never entered CU.
Yes.
Because I never felt worthy. Yeah.
You felt the guilt that you even going to say Christian Union.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I never felt like I was worthy being in CU.
All right.
Yeah. So I was with this girl. She has begun speaking about marriage. Now I had to speak with God because anything that is big, I speak with God.
Yes.
So I engaged God in this. I told Him, if you want us to continue, or if you want us to get into a higher level, that is, to get into marriage,
Yes.
then let this relationship continue. But if you do not want, then we will break up.
Yes.
And at the time we were, we were so in love, or like last.
Yes.
So yeah. So I never thought that can happen, like us breaking up.
Yes.
So me going to God, I was going just to see what God will do.
They're testing you.
Yes,
Can you really do the Sodom and Gomorrah thing?
yeah.
All right.
So I see them for say them, and I went back to my girlfriend.
Yes.
We had a good time. Went back home. The next weekend she came just as usual. And at this time,
Yes.
on our first date there was no issue. The second day, because it was on a weekend, the second day she began to give me a silent treatment out of nowhere.
Yes.
And that killed my ego, it killed everything about me. And the girl didn't even want to speak to me, but we ended up cutting the long story short. We ended up pregnant.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Really quick to you, Dr. I really want you to talk about this issue. Maybe how does it make one feel? Because I know you are an expert in matters sexuality. Maybe you. Okay. From your experience with, I know you've mentored with young boys and girls, many of them over the years. Maybe from your experience with and interaction with these young people, maybe what are some of the things or the feelings, or what are some of the impact in their lives, negative impact in their lives?
Yeah. One of the things I want to start by saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mercy is saying she just got a feeling.
Yes.
She doesn't know where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
She can't say that she was introduced by something.
No.
But it's very, very important to know that matter sexual, and not just matter sexual,
Mm-hmm.
life in general is spiritual. That life in general is ecological. Just like sex is ecological, spiritual, and physical. So there's a psychological, a spiritual, and a physical dimension to sex.
Mm-hmm.
And by birth, we are born sinners.
Yes.
By birth, we are spiritually inclined to tilt to perversion.
Okay.
You do not have to be introduced to it. It just, we have spiritual
It's a
heritage.
tendency with you.
Yeah, we have a, that's what the Bible says, that the heart is deceitful.
Yes.
You don't teach a small kid to steal sugar or to commit an offense. There's a natural inclination. And that's why it's just a natural process to do even something that appears perverse, because it is a spiritual heritage.
Okay.
And then it is also psychological. It involves the mind, the heart, and the emotions.
Okay.
And now the physical aspect, whereby now you get, like now what she's saying, to actualize the feelings for God.
Yes.
And find yourself doing it. But I would say, just the way she has prescribed,
Yes.
when something is spiritual, when something is ecological and physical, the solution lies in those three things.
Okay.
The spiritual battles are won spiritually. Psychological battles are also won psychologically and physically. Look at what happened.
Yes.
Just like Thomas says, they went to God. The solution was actually spiritual.
Yes.
That unless you fight spiritual battles spiritually, you fight them in vain. And that's why even Thomas said that it's only when he dedicated his life,
Yes.
and he got born again the second time, that he had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And Master here says something that he could not trace where it was coming from, very spiritual.
Yes.
She just went back to God. You fighting spiritual battles spiritually.
Yes.
But I also want to say, coming back to your question, that anything that is spiritual has spiritual consequences.
Okay.
Anything that's ecological has ecological consequences.
Yes.
And anything that is physical has physical consequences.
Okay.
That's why she says she would feel guilty.
Yes.
Initially, she was not feeling guilty, but there was that conflict in her spirit.
Yes.
Just like the case of Thomas. Because naturally, if you don't do something that is well aligned spiritually,
Yes.
guilt, shame, and fear will be part of your portion.
Yes.
Unless you have your conscience here. So anytime you commit something that is spiritual, has spiritual consequences.
Yes.
It comes naturally. And definitely it has psychological consequences. Definitely whatever was going on in her mind, her mixed feelings. And of course it comes with a lot of social stigma,
Yes.
a lot of shame, and of course even mentally, she can't, or you can't perform normally.
Yes.
Just like when you sin, when you fall into sin, it affects your psychological being. And of course, physically, there are consequences. When people know that you are doing something that is contrary to the word of God,
Yes.
to the value in the society, it comes in a social stigma. And of course, you are not doing things the natural way.
Okay.
There are natural consequences. If you have to go there into that space, that whenever you have sexual perversion, it can introduce what we call sexual dysfunction.
Okay.
That you don't function normally. You don't feel attracted by the right gender. That even getting aroused, you don't go into that space
Yes.
normally. So there's sexual dysfunction. For men, I'll talk about erectile dysfunction.
Yes.
Because there are natural consequences for the things that we do when you don't follow the natural path.
Okay.
Medics will tell you that the way our body is wired, there is what we call the pressure pathways. And the moment you start masturbating or watching pornography,
Yes.
it starts distorting those pathways, it starts diluting them.
Okay.
Such that instead of getting aroused normally, you can't get aroused normally.
Yes.
The things that arouse you or excite you or
Yes.
give you pleasure,
They don't
they
get you.
don't get you.
Okay.
And that's why it can follow you into your marriage unless you get born again, unless you get delivered.
Yeah.
Because what marriage does is marriage operates in a natural setting. A man and a woman come together
Yes.
and they consummate naturally. But what lesbianism does, or homosexuality, or LGBTQ, it distorts the normalcy,
Yes.
the natural sexual patterns that God has wired in us, such that when you want to operate normally, that pathway has been distorted. That way, that natural way of the default setting, let me say, call it that way.
Okay.
The normal sexual default setting is distorted.
All right.
And you get some new and natural setting.
Okay, hold it right there, just right there. Now, coming back to you, Mercy Clark, let's talk about your journey to restoration, redemption, and coming out of lesbianism. How did that come?
All right. So right now, at this point, I have spoken to God.
Yes.
We have broken up with God. I think I'm angry because when I was 6 years old, something else happened, but it was after realizing that I had this homosexual attraction.
Yes.
So after realizing I had this homosexual attraction, there were 2 boys who came to me and they deceived me into engaging in sex with them.
Okay.
They actually told me more because I brought up Jesus in the conversation, and I never knew what sex is, but it sounded weird. So I told them about Jesus, and they told me that for Jesus to come into this life or into the physical realm, Joseph and Mary had to do this thing. So that's how I accepted it. With the Lord.
So, were you sure? Was it Joseph and Mary, did they really do it for Jesus to come?
Yeah, I was asleep, and I know that was them that because the boys they were like 10 to 11 years,
Okay.
so they are kids.
Yes.
Yeah, so the devil really took that opportunity
Okay.
because also he knew that I had this attraction, so he really needed me to get deeply into sexual sin and sexual weakness.
Yes.
So I began to become angry with God after another breakup. And I asked God, why would you want to save me right now? And when I was 6 years old,
Never did.
you never saved me. So I was like, if that is the kind of God you are,
Yes.
I'm done with you. Yeah. So I declared my independence from God.
Yeah.
And
You broke up with God.
I broke up with God. Yeah.
And then after that,
The thing is, when a fish breaks up with the water,
Yeah.
the fish dies.
sure.
So I broke up with God, and it began to be like flat and have sex with every girl that was living.
Yes.
So there was this specific one week. I got hijacked, never got raped, never got killed.
Yes.
Second thing, I got involved in accidents. That same week,
Yes.
that week, there were a case that police wanted to make it happen.
Get you.
Yes. So the 3 things happened in one specific week.
Okay.
And I was like, let me go to that. If it is death, I'm ready. If it is hell, I'm ready.
Okay.
But me getting back to this kind of God,
Okay.
I can't.
Yes.
So I went back home because I was in campus. I went back home, died at home. So that there will be no cost.
Yes. You want to say the costs? Okay.
So going home, as you can see, I'm a rapper. I began rapping.
Which year were you, as you're talking about?
2019.
2019. Which year? First year, second year?
That year.
Third year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually called down the semester.
Okay.
I went home then. So going back home on my way, a pastor had texted me to go to his kesha and perform because I had that. So I
Yes.
actually did gospel rap, but still being a secret lesbian.
Yes. So you're doing rapping as a gospel artist,
Yes.
yet you broke up with God.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I never wanted to go to that church because shall break up the whole,
Yes.
right? So I left that text on Bluetooth. So I did a complete party. Going back home, my parents were going to that station.
Yes.
That's right.
Another one of the same.
The same one.
Okay.
So I had to rap. So going to that kesha, you see the normalities of the program. Go praise, worship, then the word, and then now I perform.
Yes.
So I was just waiting for the performance
Okay.
when I was in the kesha.
You're not part of the other activities.
During praise, people are dancing, are sweating, so it wasn't really a conducive environment. People worshiping, crying.
You're wondering what is this?
Yes.
But you are.
Yeah. Everyone they are tearing up, and of course when you tear up, you know what comes with it. Yes. So I saw it as it wasn't really a
You're out of
conducive
place.
Yes. So I went outside, waited for them to settle. I came so that I can hear the word and so that we can continue with the performance.
Yes.
So sitting, the atmosphere just changed. So I was a bitter person, angry with God, insane, terribly insane, ready to die, ready to go to hell. And then there was this change of the atmosphere that I had at the time. So I felt love, a lot of love, a lot of peace, a lot of joy, out of nowhere, in a blink of an eye. And I heard the voice of God, and He told me that, okay, I will put it in Swahili because He spoke to me in Swahili, of which we know is not a Swahili. So He spoke to me and He told me, Nancy, if you're not going to come out and accept, like right now, hutawahi accept. Because at the time, my heart was growing cold. It was growing harder
Yes.
and harder. So I told God, because now this environment, I never wanted to come out of it. It was full of peace, full of joy, full of love. I never wanted to get out of it.
Yes.
So I said, Sawa God, but I've tried coming out of homosexuality. And, God told me this one thing, and He told me, just accept me and He ain't giving it.
Okay.
And that is what I did. I accepted Him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are led to apply for salvation, or what exactly happened?
That night.
Yes.
So I kept it as a secret.
So it's just you and God.
Me and God.
Okay.
Just the way you're sitting. So a lot of things have happened. So afterwards, now after God has built me up, I'm watching this, I'm listening. Now God told me, now it is time to go to your vision and confess.
Okay.
I was like, because now I'm a miracle baby. My parents wanted to have kids for like 7 years. That's when after 7 years, that's when they had them. So the bishop, they were among the people that were praying for my parents to have kids. So he knows me from when I had kids.
Yes.
He knows me. He knows that I'm a holy person. I'm a good person.
So just hold it right there. I want you to realize that since she was born, now to 6 years, and now to university, no one knows. She has misplaced feelings. No one knows.
Actually, just to get plan.
Yes.
One thing about sexual struggles, it's a common denominator among many people.
Yes.
That people struggle in silence.
Okay.
we perish in silence. Nobody talks about it. It's a common story.
Yes.
It's a common thing. It's a common thread that weaves itself along the journey.
Okay.
That there's a conspiracy of silence on matter sexuality, and that's where the devil lies in that area.
Yes.
Because we don't talk about it. It's shameful. Nobody wants to say it, and yet we know how liberating it is
Yes.
when you share your story.
Yeah. Just
A burden
confessing.
is even lifted up. I want to be sincere with you.
Yes.
I noted among Christians, especially young people, that they are doing good things in church.
Yes.
Singing praise and worship, giving wonderful testimonies, sharing.
Going to sleep in heaven the next minute.
Yeah.
That's how
But
fitting.
there was a struggle.
Okay.
And because they are church people, they have not been socialized to share sexual struggles.
Okay.
So we have sexual sins being a silent killer among believers.
And Dr. Crow, somebody said that when the devil wants to finish you, or when the enemy wants to finish you, they isolate you fast.
Yeah.
So you isolate yourself from people. You don't want to share anything.
Yeah.
And then the enemy can now finish you, right?
Yeah. And of course, for a long time, sex topic was a taboo.
Yes.
Sex education is a taboo. Not many churches even address it.
Sure.
And yet we know the Bible says, "Blessed are the pure, for they shall see God."
Yes.
And this purity is wholesome, that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. And the devil knows if he can get you there, you are done.
Yes.
But thank God for the love of God. It doesn't take someone to be righteous. When you listen to the story of Mercy,
Yes.
it's not because of the righteous acts she never did,
No.
but God just chose her
The love
before
of
she
God.
chose God. And that's the mercy of God.
Yes.
That's why our salvation is unmerited. It's because of God's grace. That is God's love. If we can replace God's love in that salvation,
Yes.
then we can overcome this. But that thing about sharing, because I'm imagining if Mercy had shared with someone at that age,
Yes.
was it 6 years old? I don't think it would have gone all the way to the university.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't think it would have gone all the way to the university. And the Bible says, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge." If someone would have talked to Mercy and told her, "Yeah, this can happen, but we have a solution to it."
Yes.
So she groped in the dark without knowing where to get her solution. Until she almost came to the deep end.
Trying to find identity,
Yeah.
struggling.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mercy Clark, talking about feeling the love of God, feeling rest in the presence of God. Let us know what happened after that.
Alright. So I still didn't want to share,
Okay.
but after now, God directed me to share with this bishop who knows me a lot. He knows everything about me.
Yes.
Because they were not the people who prayed for my grace to have kids. So at some point, I actually wanted to run so that I won't tell him.
Yeah.
But God's word is so. I think it's Jeremiah or Ezekiel who says that his word is like fire being on.
Yes.
So you cannot really run away from it. So I did. I had to do what he told me to do. So I went to my bishop. I confessed everything. Obviously, there was silence in the room because they wondered. Mercy.
The least expected
Yes.
of you.
Yes. So yeah, after I confessed, we prayed and they led me to Christ.
Did you share with your parents then?
Yes, afterwards, after now, God told me that I came and we begin to speak about it openly, publicly.
Yes.
So there was this young girl who couldn't share. Now God wants me to share to the world what
Okay.
I've been.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So-
that's how actually that's how my parents got to know about it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, I want you to tell us, maybe, did it happen immediately after you confessing it to your bishop and, confessing it to God himself, rededicating your life to rest? Did you get the liberty immediately? Or did you continue to struggle with lesbianism?
It was a step by step.
Okay.
Actually, the first thing that God commanded me to come out of come out of alcohol because there is a link between drugs and sexuality. So I had to come out of first of all, yes. So afterwards, it's been a walk, it's been a journey.
Yes.
My story is not like Thomas. It wasn't really an automatic.
It was not instant.
Yes, it wasn't instant. So it is a journey of surrendering, surrendering this part of alcohol, surrendering it to God.
So the deliverance was a process.
Yes, it was a process. Yes. So the attractions, they are still intact, but God has given me now His power to not manifest. I can say not even just manifest, but also not to think about it.
Okay.
Lastfully,
Yes.
being lustful about it. So God has really been helping me. It's been because it was first of all physical. Do not touch.
Yes.
Do not touch her.
Yeah.
And now it began going even into my soul.
Okay.
Now do not think about her. Yeah. So it was a process.
All right. So that is 2019, right? So to date, how's been the journey?
It's been a journey of surrender.
Okay.
Yes. Surrendered a lot of my parts to God. I don't know. There's a time that you reach and you think that now you're there,
Yes.
you're perfect, until God shows you, because the more you go to the light,
Yes.
the more the bad things are exposed and they're blotted out.
Okay.
So it has been a journey.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm perfect, but I'm being perfect.
Wow.
Yes.
A clap for God. So, talking about this since 2019, we've been living right now. I mean, the deliverance process has been all through to date. Okay?
Yes.
So you've never gone back to the old ways.
No.
All right.
It was, yes. At first, 2020, it was COVID.
Okay.
So you got to be over how.
Yes.
So when you are not doing anything, that doesn't mean that I was empowered.
Okay.
I don't know a better word for that.
Yes.
But now after kufunguliwa, I felt that I had fallen
Okay.
again.
Yes.
But this time I was falling into the hands of God. It wasn't really falling or singing.
Yes.
And then God hakuna kifanya ngomoni. No, it was falling. God picked me up.
Yes.
And we continue with the journey.
So you fell but not utterly cast down.
Yes.
Wow.
So actually, I told you about masturbation. Masturbation was actually the only thing that was left that could physically manifest.
Okay.
So the one thing that God told me is that He never expected me to perfect myself.
Yes.
He doesn't expect me to perfect myself.
It's not your work.
It's not my work. That's not my work. My work is to believe in Him,
Yes.
to receive Him, and to stand for Him. That's the only work given to me. So, because when I was 6 years old, I began to be sexually active when I was 6 years old. So, God see my dad.
Yes.
Actually, I expect you become perfect within days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will take a while.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Okay.
Yes, and right now, I can attest as a witness of what the Lord has done in my life. He is a good God and He's loving.
A round of applause. Because I can see our time is pretty much well spent for the episode tonight. And I just want you to one, just in a nutshell, very briefly, to that girl out there or a boy child struggling out there. And then two, you talk to a parent who doesn't know what their children are going through, who doesn't know what their children are doing. Would you want to do that? You could face that camera.
All right. So I'll be speaking like I'm speaking to my past self. So if you're there and you're struggling with homosexuality, just know that God, because He gave us Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ was also tempted. So he also knows the weaknesses and the infirmities that we are facing. And when you are being tempted to do whatever you want to do, or in your struggle, the Lord understands. You know, sometimes we think that the Lord doesn't understand. He understands, and He wants to take you out of that place. He wants to lift you out of that dark realm. He's there not to judge you. He's there to save you. So surrender to Him. You can believe in Him. And if you are a parent, and of course you cannot force your child to share with you, but you can be there as a friend, knowing even if you want the child to give you their secrets, you need also to open up your lives. And it's a vulnerable journey. You need also to open up your life so that they can be able to open up theirs. Because sometimes we think that our parents are perfect. But if you open up your life, they will have the opportunity to open up their lives.
Wow. A round of applause. I want to give you some time to do a wrap before we close this session and episode tonight. But before that, let's have your parting shot tonight.
I want to thank Mercy for actually taking the bold step and confessing.
Yes.
Because I know my experience with young people is that many of us are struggling.
Yes.
But you see, this is the way of deliverance. The Bible says it is with our mouth we confess, which she did.
Yes.
And it is with our heart we believe. And that's what she did. And we are saved and justified.
Yes.
So it takes us just saying it, just trusting God and saying it, that God is going to deliver us. And then believing, taking God at His word, and we shall be justified, meaning just as if we never sinned. And then the deliverance, the salvation is a process.
Yes.
It may not just be brought, it takes a process. I don't think she's being realistic.
Yes.
That she's still in a spiritual workshop.
Yeah.
She's still being delivered. She's still healing.
Still
She's not
healed.
yet perfect.
Uh-huh.
And I want to tell you, that is the story of many of us, not all of us.
Yes.
We are struggling with certain issues. Maybe we don't have the grace or the boldness to say. And the devil is taking advantage of our conspiracy of silence.
Yes.
But anybody who confesses his sins, the Bible says, he will be healed.
Yes.
And it takes the first step, the first bold step of saying it, confessing it, believing in your heart, and you are saved and you are justified as if you never sinned. So that the old has gone and the new has come.
Wow. A round of applause. Nancy Clark, thank you so much for making time for us tonight. Dr. Karao, thank you so much. And before we break, please let us know what we should be expecting next Saturday.
Next Saturday, listeners and viewers, we are going to continue this conversation of sexuality and shall have one of us come and share her story.
Yes.
In a different dimension, because sexual matters have a different dimension. It's multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
There is LGBTQ, there's pornography, there's masturbation. We are going to unlock another dimension of sexuality.
Yes.
Sexual perversion, sexual abuse, sexual whatever it is. And then we shall see how we get delivered by the one.
Wow. This is a conversation we don't want to miss. And of course, that's for you tonight. See you next Saturday, same time, same place. My name is Reverend Frank. And if you got any feedback or if you missed our previous conversation, feel free to visit our YouTube channel that is at Op TV Kenya. And of course, you'll catch up with our previous conversations. And of course, have a restful night. Bye-bye.